Hi, I'm Bill Meyers, and welcome to Bill's Blogs. I want to tell you a bit of a sad story on this one, about the group As Yet. In 1996, I was called to arrange strings for a new group, As Yet, by Babyface on their first recording. One of the songs was called Through My Heart, for which I used a small string section, a quartet, and a couple of wind instruments also. When I got to Ocean Way Studios, I met the band members, some of the band members, and with them there was Brian McKnight, and this is the first time I met Brian. And it turned out that Brian had composed the song, and I think in this particular song, Babyface just was the executive producer, and he allowed Brian to produce it. So I remember going over the parts and, first with the musicians playing without the track to get the balance just right. And that's something that I generally always do when I'm working with ensembles. I want to be able to hear them blend together, a cappella. So brass and strings particularly. They sounded real good. And I told the engineer to lay one down and, let's try the thing. So we had the track. And the quartet and the two winds just played beautifully. Very responsive. They were in tune with the sad tone of the lyric. But as we finished and I approached the studio, I saw Brian behind the glass laughing a bit, and he was shaking his head like, no. Like, I'm thinking, like, I must have done something wrong. I'm not sure what he didn't like about the arrangement. But when I got inside, I said, well, did you find anything troublesome? Was there anything wrong? And he was laughing, and he said, no, I was laughing at how ridiculously good it all sounded on the first take. And I was like, okay, good. So we tracked it again, but I believe they took that first take. It was magic. And I love when that happens. I think that's a bit of recording history, and it's never as good as that very first time when you nail something. So Brian and I worked on a number of his projects after that. This was the first thing that brought us together. And I think, honestly, some of the best work I've ever done was with Brian working together. This album did extremely well, especially because it was first-time artists that had it released. It was certified gold, and As Yet sold over 700,000 copies. It was weird because I didn't hear from anyone for over a year about the band or, if they were going to be recording, again. But one day I was in I believe it was a Whole Foods store, yeah, and I ran into one of the members. And I congratulated him and asked how everybody was doing. And sadly, he told me that between all the money spent on the producers, and believe me, if you've got Babyface as a producer, you're spending a ton of money. The cost of recording, management, tour support, equipment needed to pay, the band had to pay for, and then coming off a tour, a long tour too, the band was in deep debt. And in the meantime, a couple of the relationships with wives had broken up. And he said to me, man, no one in his band was up for doing this again and paying that kind of price. I haven't seen anyone since that meeting with one of the members. And it really made me reflect. And, all I can say is this business can be very unforgiving, especially, to emerging artists. And I hope this doesn't continue with the new ones that are coming aboard. One thing that I don't have an issue with the way that so many things are sequenced now. I loved that beautiful communication when musicians work live, but by the same token, if more work gets done in home studios and sequencing, maybe there's a little less chance that the finances have become more reasonable for young artists. I hope that there's an easier path for them to have success.